You're listening to the Health Courage Collective podcast, episode 62, Playing Not to Lose. Welcome to the Health Courage Collective podcast, the show for women who are too busy to slog through hours of generalized, inapplicable, and often contradictory health information, but too smart to ignore that a few minutes of focused attention now can prevent years of suffering in the future. I'm your host, Christina Hackett, a pharmacist who doesn't want you to live on prescriptions, a certified coach specifically trained to maximize your potential, and a compulsive learner obsessed with preventative, cutting-edge, holistic, and integrative medicine. I'm on a mission to increase your physical and mental resilience so you can fearlessly look forward to your next 40-plus limitless years. Your time is now. Let's go. Hello and welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me, and I hope you've had a great week. Have you thought about your injury prevention strategy? Most people usually think of injuries as unavoidable accidents, a stroke of bad luck. Sometimes that's the case, certainly, but a great deal of injuries and orthopedic problems can be prevented, especially the things that most people associate with advanced age or they blame on activity. CrossFit causes injuries, or it's from running, or because I have to spend a lot of my day typing. Nope. And it's great news because now you know that it's not just a roll of the dice. Most of that stuff doesn't just happen to you out of the blue. You can program yourself to be resilient. It's pretty freaking awesome. Today, we're going to talk about playing. I hope you see life and health and wealth and longevity as one big game, to the extent that that's useful to you. It doesn't need to all be so heavy and serious. We're here to play the game the best we can and enjoy the process. So, what's your game strategy? I'm here to help you create a personal plan to age like a professional so that you've got energy, power, and resilience to spare 40 years from now. And to design your behavior so that you actually do the things you told yourself you would do. That'll free up a ton of brain juice that you can spend making the world a better place and going after goals that you weren't really even sure you'd be able to accomplish in your lifetime. That's good stuff. I love it. But what's your overall strategy? Let's start with a little quiz to find out. These questions are from a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Question number 1. You're given $1,000. You are then asked to choose one of these options. A 50% chance to win another $1,000 or get an additional $500 for sure. What do you think? You probably chose the $500. That's what most people choose. Here's another one. Question number 2. You're given $2,000. You are now asked to choose one of these options. A 50% chance to lose $1,000 or lose $500 for sure. What did you decide? Most people decide to take their chances on losing the $1,000. Is that what you chose? Why the different choice? Do you see that either way you're choosing between being $1,500 richer for sure or a 50-50 chance of being either $2,000 richer or only $1,000 richer? The math is the same. The only difference is in the wording of the question. Here's another one. Question number 3. You're given an 80% chance of winning $4,000 or you can take $3,000 for sure. Question number 4. You're given an 80% chance of losing $4,000 or you can lose $3,000 for sure. These are obviously mirror images. The probabilities are the same. The choice is about winning versus losing. If people made rational mathematical decisions, it would be simple to predict what most people would answer. For question 3, a rational choice would be the 80% chance at gaining $4,000 because it is, mathematically speaking, more valuable than $3,000. It has an expected value of $3,200, which means that if you took this option a whole bunch of times, you would average $3,200. Similarly, an 80% chance of losing $4,000 has an expected value of minus $3,200. So a rational person would choose the sure loss of $3,000. But people overwhelmingly give the wrong answer to both questions. When it came to gaining money, they would take the safe bet of $3,000 for sure. But when faced with losing money, 92% of people opted to take an 80% chance at losing $4,000. That's a bad bet. What was causing this seemingly irrational behavior? It wasn't a desire to gain, it was the desire to avoid a loss. The mere thought of a loss, researchers found, has a warping effect on how people handle uncertainty. Interesting, right? In his book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker talks about asking his audience how many of them make their financial choices and plans based on fear. Nobody raises their hand. Then he asks them how many make their choices and plans based on the desire for security. Almost everyone raises their hand. Can you see how the desire for security is the same thing as the fear of loss? Attempting to stave off the devastation of deprivation. Like with our quiz earlier, it's not playing to win. It's playing not to lose. And it's deeply ingrained in all of us. What are your goals for your future? I hope you have some big plans and that you know that you don't have to end up like most people, losing steam and collecting diagnoses and prescriptions along the way. But did you know that the way you frame your goals matters? In Robert Biswas Diener's book, The Courage Quotient, he says, quote, psychologist E. Torrey Higgins and his colleagues have conducted a range of studies that offer evidence that people can adopt a promotion focus and that this focus is associated with increased motivation and success at tasks. In one simple demonstration of this, described in a 1997 article by James Shaw, the Higgins team had research participants play a word scramble game. In one of the study conditions, the participants were told that they would receive extra money if they solved a high percentage of the puzzle, but only the normal amount offered otherwise. Participants in a second study condition were given a different mandate. They were told that they would receive a flat sum, but that money would be deducted for errors. In essence, one group was playing a game that was framed as either gaining or not gaining, whereas the other group's game focused on not losing or losing money. Just this reframing of the game had a dramatic effect on performance. The individuals who were given the focus on gaining performed much better. End quote. He calls it promotion focus. What are your goals for your next 40 years? Are you going to watch your weight, eat a few more salads and not stay up so late, drink a little lemonade and not so many beers? Oh wait, that's Tim McGraw's next 30 years. What about yours? What would make you say you succeeded at having the health span that you wanted, that allowed you to truly give your greatest gifts in service to the world? I don't think the average person has a clear answer to that question. That's part of the problem. It's really hard to hit a target if you don't know where it is or what it looks like. If you work with me, getting yourself set up to age like a professional for the rest of your life, that's where we start, because it's really important. But if the average person did think through it for a while, I think most people would come up with the health version of the I'm looking for financial security answer. It sounds totally reasonable and responsible. It's what seems like the right answer. It's widely promoted by experts as what you should be aiming for. Be there when your daughter gets married. Delay the onset of memory problems. Live in your own home for as long as possible. Slow your rate of bone loss. These are fine, just like financial security is fine, and as long as we stay alive, our bodies do start to age and things get more challenging. I'm not denying that. And of course, we don't have control over every minute aspect of our physiological functioning and life circumstances. Much as I wish that we did, total control would be my dream come true, but I also believe that there's a reason why the world isn't set up that way and that it's ultimately better that way. Despite all of that, can you see that what we're set up to hope for as the best case scenario is to not lose? And do you remember who plays the word scramble game significantly better? I'm a fan of doing whatever works for you and thinking whichever thoughts serve you best. You don't have to listen to me or anyone else, but how might your outlook on your future and your actions today be different if you were playing to win rather than playing not to lose? The majority of what we're fed about what to expect of ourselves as the years go by is a lie. It's a lie, Stephen. They give me no eagle powers. They give me no nutrients. I don't want to get paid to lose. I want to win. Do you love Nacho Libre? Do you have his enthusiasm for winning? It might take a little while for you to get clear on exactly what winning means to you, but once you have that clarity, it's so much easier and funner to play to win. If you're ready to play to win your longevity game, click the link in the show notes and get on my interest list to join me in my program where I help you make a personalized longevity plan that you're playing to win. If you were playing a game, could you ever win if you only ever played defense? Even if you were a world-class defender, the best you could hope for is a final score of 0-0. That's not losing, but it's not winning either. In his book, Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz says, "We are engineered as goal-seeking mechanisms. We are built that way. When we have no personal goal which we are interested in and which means something to us, we are apt to go around in circles, feel lost, and find life itself aimless and purposeless. We are built to conquer the environment, solve problems, achieve goals, and we find no real satisfaction or happiness in life without obstacles to conquer and goals to achieve." End quote. I totally buy that. We think we want life to be easy, but our happiness comes from overcoming obstacles, from standing up to a worthy opponent, from doing something we didn't believe we could do. Back to Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker says, "The first thing I did was commit to my success by playing to win. I swore I would focus and not even consider leaving this business until I was a millionaire or more. This was radically different from my previous efforts where, because I always thought short term, I would constantly get sidetracked by either good opportunities or when things got tough." End quote. That's another advantage of playing to win. You know exactly what you're trying to do, so you don't get sidetracked by shiny objects and whims or temporary setbacks. It makes the game you're playing a lot more clear. Do I need to take this new supplement my coworker said changed her life? Do I need to go keto like Vanessa? I really should go running at 4 a.m. every morning like Jan. Should I take this prescription? Should I look for a different doctor? Is hormone replacement therapy for me? You make different decisions when you're playing to win than when you're playing not to lose. Promotion focus. It's a good thing. Most people would say that they want to have energy, strength, and focus enough to get out and make a difference in the world for decades to come. Kind of a no-brainer. But they want it like, it would be nice if it unexpectedly fell in their lap. There's a pretty big difference between being committed to giving your future self the gift of options and power and just wanting to be healthier. It's like what T. Harv Eker says in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. There's a difference. Can you feel it? I want physiological resilience versus I'm committed to living beyond the standard of care. What could you do differently to manifest your commitment to aging differently? I'd love to be the commitment starting point on your journey to optimal health. Click the link in the show notes and get on my interest list. Do you remember our quiz at the beginning of the episode? We're not as rational or logical as we think we are, especially when faced with the possibility of losing something that's important to us. It's like hardwired into our brain to do everything we can not to lose. It kind of makes sense. It's a survival mechanism. Hey, quick question. Have you ever tried blue light filtering glasses yet? You probably know that the blue light coming out of all your screens can strain and possibly damage your eyes. So protecting your eyes is a good idea. I've tried a few different kinds of blue light filtering glasses over the years, but lately my eyes were physically aching after looking at screens. So I got a pair of glasses from I Buy Direct with Sight Relax lenses that are designed to relieve eye strain in addition to blocking blue light. They have a really subtle magnification at the bottom, which I wasn't sure I would like, but I really do. And the lenses are a lot more clear. I always felt like my other blue light lenses were never all the way clean. If you've never tried I Buy Direct, there's a link in the show notes for $10 off your first pair of glasses that you can use in addition to 15% off your first pair. They have great deals on prescription glasses and sunglasses in addition to blue light glasses, and they have so many different kinds of frames to choose from really conservative ones to really bold. My Sight Relax glasses look like tortoiseshell, but it's actually little flowers on the frame. Cute. Okay, back to the episode. Our brain is pre-programmed to survive. To survive, not to thrive. To play not to lose, to want rather than to commit. And that's not a totally bad thing. It serves us in some cases. We're not doomed, but once we're aware of it, we can recognize it and choose whether we want to survive or whether we want to thrive, whether we want to be comfortable and do what we've always done or what everyone else is doing, or whether we want to be different, whether we want to go after something that inspires us, just because we can. It takes a specific personalized plan and some upfront work to install habits that run on autopilot. And it might be uncomfortable, but it's also a lot more fun. We are inherently happier when we're working on improving ourselves in some way, when we're promotion focused, when we're playing to win. So enjoy the game. Thank you for being here today. You are awesome. Next week, we're going to talk about thinking twice before popping that pill. Until then, play to win and don't be normal. Thank you so much for tuning into the Health Courage Collective podcast. I am truly honored that you have paid me the enormous compliment of your time and attention. I would be so grateful if you would share this podcast with someone you know and subscribe so you never miss an episode. This podcast is for entertainment and information purposes only. Statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Christina Hackett and producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse events by use of information contained herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.